Hello, purpose-driven career leaders. My name is Kori Burkholder, career coach and founder of Purpose-Driven Career Accelerator program. And today I am here with Emily, who has just she completed the program about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. And I wanted to reconnect with her because she just started her new job and she's got a lot of updates. And so we're going to talk about that today. So Emily, share a little bit about who you are, maybe where you're from, something you want to share with everybody.
Well, hi, as Corey said, my name is Emily, and I'm from Indiana. And I reached out to Corey last fall asking for help using her program to find a new job. And it's been a roller coaster ride to do that. Lots of getting out of my comfort zone and learning new things about myself, but it's been great and it's really helped me in the end.
Awesome. Yeah, so I know it's been such a journey and it's been such an honor to, watch the journey, be a part of it. And so what were you struggling with back last fall before, you reached out? Like what were you struggling with when you reached out for help?
Sure. I had been with the same company for, at that point, about 6.5 years. And prior to that, had worked in a contract capacity with this same company for about 4 years prior to that. So I was 10 plus years with this same company, with this same department, in my comfort zone of knowing who people were, understanding the company. And I had been wanting for a while to make a career change, but I was so confused as to what direction, what kind of job to look for. Do I have any confidence in the types of jobs that I had been considering? And then just feeling very stagnant, very stuck in where I was and not having the motivation or the commitment and confidence to actually make that movement towards making a change.
Mm. Yeah, so kind of stuck in that, what do I do? I don't know. I don't have clarity. And, and some of us stay in that cyclical mind loop, right?
Mhm.
But you reached out for help. So were you like hesitant? Like, was there any, concerns before joining the program that you had?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I had gotten onto your marketing emails for a while prior to actually reaching out. So
Hmm.
I had had some time to kind of think about it, even though I didn't know the details of the program. I had had some time to think about it. And it was one day where I looked at yet another marketing email, and all of a sudden I was like, Emily, this is getting you nowhere. And you're not doing it on your own. So you need help. Like, you've got to get some help or you're going to get stuck in this rut until you die. That I wasn't finding the motivation and the persistence to do it myself, even though I saw that it was a problem. So that at that point, that moment of clarity, I went, okay, I don't even remember what your marketing email was, but it was just something that it was like,
Right.
hey, just reach out. I mean, afterwards I can let you know which one it was if you're interested. But all of a sudden it was just like this very casual, hey, we've got, a deal going on or a program, feel free to reach out if you're interested. And I was like, okay, just reach out. It's no big deal. Just one tiny step. See what she says.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of snowballed from there.
Awesome. I'm so glad that you did.
I am too.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think the most impactful part of the program was for you, do you think?
Well, honestly, looking back at the goals I had coming in, talking with you from day one, literally we met every single goal. So for
Yeah.
me, that is the biggest impact because we started out with this huge goal and we literally achieved it.
What were the goals?
It was to update my resume, which was a huge barrier for me because my resume was 10 or more years old and I just had no idea how to update it. I didn't have a good LinkedIn profile. I didn't really have confidence in interviewing. And of course, as we had said before, I didn't have direction or understanding of what to look for, how to do it, feel any confidence in making that change. And all of those combining together to actually applying for jobs, interviewing for jobs, and then accepting a job. And literally I did all of that with your help.
You did. Yeah. So we had to get the clarity first, right? So that was kind of a bigger process. I remember you kind of getting like antsy in the middle, right? Because
Yes.
you have to go through a process. We got to get the clarity. We got to do the exploration. And I remember you once reaching out. It's like, Kori, what is going on? Like, I don't have clarity yet. Could you share a little bit about that? Do you remember?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I remember that particular instance, but I remember just, I was really, motivated at the very beginning. And then for me, it was kind of like late in the process where we had maybe 4 or 5 more exercises to go that I started being like, oh my gosh, it's never going to end. We're never going to find out what's happening. At that point, it's like, I just want to see something tangible happen. And it's hard because you're looking at the small details, not the big picture. So I was just looking at the small details going, well, I have all of these puzzle pieces. Like, are we ever going to get to the full picture? And I remember you were like, okay, fine, let's move forward. Let's start applying. Let's start doing that. And all of a sudden I was like, whoa, oh, okay, maybe we should finish the steps and then do that.
Right. Inner critic comes in, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Always does when we're getting ready for that big change.
Yep.
They're going to start getting really loud, and they did. And I remember you feeling scared.
Yes.
Right.
Just because it was something I wanted. I mean, that had been my struggle going, and the reason that I reached out was because I couldn't stop listening to my inner critic, that it was like, you don't know this new company that you're going for. What if? That's so hard to shut down, especially without help, without somebody there going, Emily, you're a great, employee, and you're a great candidate, and you can do this.
Yep. I remember that interview we prepped for. I mean, you got super ready. It wasn't the job, but that was a stepping stone to get you ready for what was next, right?
Yeah. It was, obviously it was a little disappointing that I didn't get that job, but I had gone through basically through the final interview. So I had time to really practice my interview skills, which again was one of my goals and one of my, weaknesses that I was looking to improve during the program. It was a different experience because they were formatting things differently than usual. So it was a really great learning experience in general. And even though I didn't get the job, it really helped to give me confidence and to go, okay, like you got through all of that. Sure, you didn't get it, but you got through all of that. You got through their final phase, and it was down to you and one other person, and you didn't get it, but you got through that. Like, you can do the other things and you can find something else.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the 3 big tangible results that you got from going through the program.
Tangible. So obviously my resume, like, to me, that was a really big hurdle. And it was great to finally have a resume that I'm a lot more comfortable with showing people, and using and updating, LinkedIn profile, getting that updated, and doing it and I like some of your suggestions that you had given me and how to craft it. So it wasn't a super like generic or straightforward. It was a little bit more creative. And I really liked that. Just because I think it helps catch people's eyes if it's not like a super generic, and so I really liked a lot of your guidance on that. Career success stories. So I remember that was, again, part of my hurdle with resumes was like, I don't know what to put down. I don't know what to shout about myself in a resume or an interview or anything. And by the time we got through the blueprint, I had a ton of career success stories, that I could then use in, interviews. And I know that I have them for the future. And I was literally thinking the other day, oh, Emily, once this gets resolved, don't forget, you need to write this up as a career success story so you remember for the future.
Put it in your calendar, the last Friday of every month, review your successes, I always say, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
So
the big result is,
yes, I got a new job, and I changed jobs officially, went through that whole process. And yeah, and yes, you're absolutely right. The most tangible of them all is that I actually made a career
yes, after 10 years of being in the same role and identifying, I mean, because you're working at a design and remodeling company,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
And one of your passions was that, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, interior design. I don't have any like official training with it or schooling with it, but I find it fascinating. I even said during one of my interviews with the company that, that's why I love watching HGTV shows, is to see like what they do with the space and what colors they go with and how they reorganize things. Like I find that fascinating. And I understand it's reality TV, but if that's something that interests me, then I'm going to be more passionate about doing the work that leads towards something like that. And I think that was one of the things for me that really stuck out during your program, that you kept telling me, like, I'm hearing a lot of energy from you, Emily. I feel like this is something we need to explore,
Yeah.
because I would get passionate about talking about HGTV shows or whatever it is. And so that's really kind of helped the way I think, to go, oh, that's something I'm excited to talk about. So is that something that could be now or in the future job for me?
Yeah, yeah. And you hit the vortex because you combined the passion with the skills.
Yes.
And can we talk about just the increase? So the negotiating, right? So
Yeah.
whatever you're comfortable sharing there, but that's a
Yeah.
good tangible result as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I was at a point in my previous job that I just wasn't being paid at a rate that I felt warranted my skill set and my work ethics, and just it just didn't feel comfortable to me anymore. And my boss had frankly told me that I really didn't have a lot more of an increase that I could get. He had kind of reworked things as best he could, but I basically capped out. And obviously money isn't everything, but it feeds the rest of your life. It feeds the rest of your passions and what you do in your free time, and life choices that you can make. And so that was another reason that kind of started prompting me to make a change. And yeah, I had read up and researched, and with your guidance, I went into, after my in-person interview, I went into a phone call with the owner of the company to negotiate a better salary, and I negotiated over a 30% increase. So it was pretty exciting. Yeah.
Awesome. And just like just what you shared before we hopped on this video, but just in the negotiating, like throwing something out there and zipping it. And
Yes.
he was doing all the talking and he was talking about your skills and all of this stuff and how great you are. And then he came up with a number and you're like, you didn't do that, but you kept it steady. It's like, work within that range.
Yeah, yeah. I was very thankful it wasn't a video call, because I'm pretty sure my eyes bugged out, but I was like, keep it cool, Emily, keep it cool. And just very calmly be like, yes, I think that's something I could consider. And it worked.
I
So
love
it
it.
was
I
very
love
exciting.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So anything you want to share in terms of like what you're working towards or what's next for you?
I mean, obviously, right now it's just learning the job,
Yeah.
learning the job, growing in the job. It's a brand new position. So there's um, it's a bit open ended as to what all of my responsibilities will be in the end. So I know kind of what I'm working on now, but the expectation is that I find ways to make that more efficient so that I have more time to help in other areas of the company. And we've all tossed around ideas as to what that can be, but nothing's really concrete yet. And I don't expect it to be for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
learning the job.
Emily's doing her thing, making systems more efficient, being detail oriented, all of her skills she's using that she loves.
Exactly. Yeah. And I literally started taking the initiative on something and then kind of was like, I've only been with the company for about a month. Maybe I should like double check real fast to make sure that everybody's okay with what I'm about to do. Because I was about to make a change and I just kind of been like, yeah, okay, we're going to do this. This makes sense. We're okay. Maybe I'll just double check real fast. And then, I checked with my boss and she was like, yeah, sounds good. Thanks for the initiative. And I'm like, perfect. Yeah, I'm taking care of it. Don't worry about it. So yeah, I love doing that kind of stuff if I can. And
Yeah.
some of the things I've explored so far haven't gone anywhere yet, which is fine. It is what it is. But doing what I can to see if I can make efficiencies and then continuing to grow and learn in new areas of the company.
Love it. Love it. So happy for you.
Thank you.
So is there anything that you would say to somebody who is like on the fence about joining the program? What would you say to them?
I would say, and I'm sure I remember us talking about this when in our first phone call, but this is not a program that happens quickly. Like you have to be patient. You have to not be in a situation where it needs to happen within a month or two. Like it's gonna take time. Trust the process, and utilize you, Kori. Like communicate with you what you are needing, what you feel, any roadblocks that you're having. Utilize you, because I mean that's the whole point of the program is to use you as a resource. And I would say don't hesitate to do that. Yes, it's a monetary commitment and it's definitely a time commitment. All of the exercises and trying to put in all the time and effort of that. But I think if you put in the hard work, you're gonna come out with maybe you'll be lucky enough to get 100% of your goal like I was, or maybe close to it. But it's also gonna it's something you're taking away with you. Whether you meet 100% of your goal, you're getting so many things out of it in the end that you can use for years to
Thank you for sharing that.
come. You're welcome.
Amazing, amazing. It was so amazing to work with you. And, I know that you're going to continue to grow and make such an impact at this company. They're so lucky to have you.
Well, thank you so much, Kori. I really appreciate all of your patience and your time with me and answering all of my emails and helping me out and supporting me so well all these past months.
Totally my pleasure. Yeah, so if you are watching this video right now and you can relate to Emily's story and you're feeling stuck in your career and you don't know what to do next, I invite you to schedule a brief 15-minute call with me to work out if or how I can help you. And I'm going to post the link below this video. And my name is Kori Burkholder, reminding you to take action, feel the fear, and do it anyways.